Time now to recap Liberty's loss at Indiana State back on Saturday, 38-19 to the Sycamores as the Flames fall to 3-2. And Nick, when you look at the game on Saturday, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the players, not much went right for Liberty, and they really tipped their cap to Indiana State.
They did. I think Indiana State had a whole lot to do with the Flames' struggles on Saturday. They certainly did not play like a 1-11 football team. We all knew that going in. They also did not play like a team that was giving up more than 200 yards per game on the ground either. They held Liberty to just 33 rushing yards on Saturday, and I know that the Flames wanted to get that ground game going. They never really were able to, and I think that played a big role in the offensive struggles and ultimately the loss.
And when you look at the offense early on, there were some drops early that kind of set the tone. I'm not putting it all on the wide receivers, but that kind of set the tone for the afternoon.
No, no doubt it did. I mean, you know, when you come out and you're trying to establish some sort of offensive consistency and a rhythm early on in the ball game, the last thing you want to see as a quarterback or an offensive coordinator is receivers dropping balls and plays, you know, blowing up and not going the way that you want them to, because then you're putting yourself in third and long situations, fourth down situations early on in the ball game. And like you said, it does definitely set the tone. So that was working against the Flames early on. Defensively, Liberty had a lot of issues in the first half as well, and we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. But, you know, it all came down to adjustments and who was able to make better adjustments and who was able to run the ball better, and Indiana State, tip your cap to them.
Wideout Darren Peterson did have a career day with a career-high 12 catches, and he says when the breaks go against you, it's how you respond that matters.
The drops is going to happen. You're going to get a lot of passes. You're going to drop a couple passes. It's just a thing, can you respond to it the next play or the next drive? Okay, you drop the pass, but capitalize on the next one when you get a chance. That's how I look at it.
Hey, Nick, when you look defensively, Indiana State quarterback Mike Parrish had a career day, and he was throwing the ball all over the lot, and the secondary was definitely tested Saturday.
Absolutely, and we knew that going in. We knew that Parrish could spread the football around. He completed a pass to 10 different receivers in the Ball State victory. So, you know, Parrish, I was very impressed watching him in person. The ball comes out so quick, and Liberty was unable to get a whole lot of pressure on him early in the ball game. We saw second half, though, defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly talk about adjustments. They were able to make some and do some things to get into the backfield. They wound up sacking him 3 times in the ball game and also forced a couple of turnovers there in the second half. But ultimately, the offense wasn't able to do enough to catch up at that point, and that was the difference.
Flames did sack him 3 times, as we alluded to, and Wesley Scott says it all starts up front with the defensive line.
You know, if he doesn't have time to sit back there and make his reads and be comfortable in the pocket, then that makes it easier for the defense, because he can't sit back there and just throw the ball where he wants to go. You know, we kind of force him into where we want him to go. If we continue to get pressure on the quarterback, then, you know, like I said, we can dictate what he does.
Nick, before we talk about homecoming this week, let's talk about Trey Turner. He is starting to become quite a weapon for Liberty with his punts.
Absolutely. I mean, twice he pinned them inside the 5-yard line, was it? They averaged like 42 yards per boot on Saturday. So, you know, the punters don't get a whole lot of love out there. And usually the fans don't like to see them even when they come out on the field, because usually it's a bad thing. But, you know, Trey Turner, you know, that's a valuable asset to your football team. You got to have a guy that can win the field position war sometimes. And, you know, there'll probably be some games later on this season that are kind of low scoring and it's a field position battle. And it's nice to know that you got a guy like that in your back pocket.
And you look at field position, Liberty did have some short fields in that first half they were unable to take advantage of. So that will be key moving forward for the Flames offensively. Now you look at Richmond, a 2-2 team ranked in the top 25 after an open week, just barely was beaten by New Hampshire 2 weeks ago. So that's going to be an important game here on homecoming Saturday.
It's very important. You got a ranked team coming in, you've got an in-state opponent coming in, and you got your former head coach coming to town. Then certainly a lot of these guys on this team that were recruited by Danny Rocco want to go out here and win this game for obvious reasons. There's many reasons that this is a big game here this week. Richmond's second-ranked passing attack in the country, averaging 352 yards per game. The DBs, the secondary for Liberty, going to be tested again here this week. And also, let's not forget, Rocco, when coming off of a bye week, very good in his career, 5-3 in his coaching record. So he's had an extra week to prepare for Liberty. Liberty's got to turn it around quickly out here and come away and play a lot better. Speaking of turning it around, Turner Gill alluded to that on Saturday night.
Our guys didn't play our best football game, and we got to be able to respond, and we will. Our coaches coached them up, and we'll be ready to play this next week. And, you know, again, to God be the glory either way.
So that sets the stage for Saturday, 7 o'clock kickoff here at Williams Stadium. Our pregame radio coverage comes your way at 5:30. For Nick Pierce, I'm Alan York for the Liberty Flames Sports Network.